With us here on GH1 Television, and our final conversation for this morning is one I'm really excited about. Not only because it's one of the proteins I like, but also because it's not only seeking to get poultry, but then trying to also empower women, and that's the most enjoyable part of this for me. And so we are talking about an upcoming celebration that you should take note of. Yeah, we all should take note of that. And in studio with me this morning, I have the president of the Women in Poultry and Value Chain, yes, in the person of Victoria Norgbe. Yeah. Madam Victoria, how are you doing this morning?
Fine. And you?
I'm okay. I'm just excited. And I'll come and ask, I'm very curious about something. I'll come back to you and come and ask that.
Okay.
But I hope you're doing very well.
Very well.
Great.
By God's grace.
Yeah. By God's grace. And she's here with Francesca Pobee-Hayford, FSRP GBV specialist. Yeah. So I know FSRP, Food Systems Resilience Projects, and then the GBV.
Okay, my designation is gender-based violence specialist.
Okay.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
So I'm doing gender and looking at gender-based violence as well.
So it matches beautifully there. Yes. Yeah. But I hope you're doing well too.
I'm fine, thank you, Josh. And yourself?
I'm doing well. I'm doing great. I'm doing great. But let me come back to the question I've been meaning to ask.
Yes.
Why women in poultry?
Value chain.
Yes.
Why women in poultry value chain?
Yes.
Because it's women who do all the jobs within the poultry value chain, and so we need to be there.
Right.
And if I want to give a little background, we have Ghana National Association of Poultry Farmers. Yes. So the question of why women in poultry value chain. In 2014, the African Union Interbureau of Animal Resources organized a program for the West African sub-region, the ECOWAS region. And then in that process, they realized that mostly it was men who were in the meeting. So they were asking whether women existed at all within the poultry value chain. So they contracted a consultant, one Dr. Kunzuli, to go around the then 10 regions of this country to find out whether women were really there. And indeed, the women were there. We were feeding the birds, they do the watering, they pick the eggs. But when it's time for the leadership and the governance and the meeting, then it's the men. And so they thought that women should be integrated. The women should also understand. The women should have some space within the value chain. And so they organized a workshop, 3-day workshop, in Menswick on the 27th April 2017.
Okay.
Women in Poultry Value Chain was born at the end of that workshop. We drafted quickly a draft constitution, which we later review. And it's a fully registered company by the laws of the country, and we have been operating since. So women are the household managers. They have to make sure that there's protein and the carbohydrates or the food is balanced. So that's why women will have to be in the poultry value chain.
Interesting.
And if we leave, it's a male-dominated area when you talk about the production. But when we finish the production, who does the rest of the job? It's the women who are selling the eggs, cleaning the eggs to sell. They are processing, they are cutting, all over. Those days we have the men also in the restaurant anyway, but the women must also participate.
Interesting. Yes. I like that a lot. Yes. But then let me come to you, Francesca, also on how women over the years have been driving the sector, the poultry sector in its entirety.
Right. Like Victoria rightly said, women have been in the sector a long time, and I think that recently the president's Feed the Future has said it all. For the longest time, you go to most households in Ghana, rural households, they always have some chickens or some guinea fowl.
Yes.
And who are the people who feed them? It's women, or take care of them. And actually, in some parts of the country, women are not. It's not culturally acceptable for women to maybe own cattle and even small ruminants that goes and sheep. But when it comes to chicken or poultry products, that is, it's like it's considered their domain.
Right.
So that is why you find women there. And for FSRP, we are interested because for obvious reasons, women dominate population 50.7, when you look at our economy is largely driven by the informal sector.
True.
And 92% of, like say, businesses are there, and women dominate there. If you look at the statistics for Africa, I think that next to Uganda, Ghanaian women dominate in MSMEs in Africa. So, and of course, that is a space that, I mean, Victoria has said it, women are there. So why not support them? So our project is seeking to ensure gender parity. We are hoping to achieve a target of 40% of women in the value chains that we are operating. And so that is why we are interested in supporting them, because they have formed themselves into a value chain from suppliers of day-old chicks to input dealers, giving vaccines and feed, as aggregators of maize, soya in the feed chain, and all those things. And then, of course, producing as producers and distributors. She said, maybe not to the same extent as the men, because of course, if you're talking about the largest poultry farmers, it's one name that stands out. It's a man. And then you look at the value chain. The statistics shows that women are just like 38%. So we want to increase that number and economically empower women, because we know that if you economically empower women, you impact the next generation. Women, human capital. And she said it's responsible for nutrition, early nutrition at the household level. It's women. If they are doing poultry, their children will eat well. She said it herself when we were in the studio. She said that she's been a poultry farmer for 35 years. Her children didn't even know how to eat fish, but poultry and eggs is what they knew.